Good day. Our topic for today is object-oriented programming. So, we have here the content flow. Going to discuss what is object-oriented programming, unsa ang classes, what is objects, the attributes, how to create the class, how to instantiate class, and how to access attributes. Okay, mani atong buhaton. Now, what is object-oriented programming? Stated here that it focuses on complementing real-world objects using classes to create variations of objects that has attributes and purpose. And it helps us create more flexible and efficient code than procedural programming. If you say object-oriented, it needs to have a classes. So, para mismo ang classes mo natong blueprint, data mag-create og objects, and then let's put an attributes there. Then, gonna write on say purpose na to ana nga object, diba? For example, person. Mag-create og object sa person. So, we have to create a class. Inside of that class is mga attributes, and we're gonna write on say mga purpose niya. So, ang katsada sa object-oriented programming is mag-create ka og classes para dito ka magbutag mga methods. Mas bahig siya i-compare sa procedural programming. So, if you say procedural programming, so it's a computer programming language that follows in order or a set of commands. So, now what is classes? It is created by the programmer. It will act as a blueprint of an object that you want to implement in your program. So, in your classes, we have to create a class, and then let's put all the attributes there and method nga unsa atong ipabuhat sa atong object. Okay, so they contain all the attributes and methods that your desired object should have. Later on, gonna create a classes. Next is what is object. So, it is created by instantiating a class. If mo call to object, ato just lang i-instantiate. For example, example is kanang mga new product, katong na yung mga new. For example, katong scanner. Diba? Scanner identifier is equals to new scanner. Okay, that one is instantiating. Okay, so later on, we're gonna instantiate an object. Then it is anything that has an attribute and a purpose. So, for example, you have the person, the furniture, or the food. Next is we have the attributes. So, what are those attributes? So, these are the global variables declared inside the class of our object. So, example, atong object is person. So, we have to create a class. Unsa may mga attribute sulod sa class sa atong person. So, we have the string name, string first name, integer sex, and character gender, something like that. So, it is used to create variation of objects using only one class. And how to create a class? We have here modifiers. We have here the syntax. Modifiers. We have to put the modifier, the class name, and a class. And after that, we have to put the attributes and methods. We have here the practical example. For example, atoong object is person. Kani siya. So, yung attribute is first name, last name, sex, and age. How to... So, of course, in Java, if we're going to create an attribute, dapat na siya mga data types. So, we have the string, the character, the integer, the double, the float. In here, we have the first name and last name is a string. You know that already in your fundamentals in Java. And sex is character while age is an integer. And that's why if before mo study og OOP, dapat kabalo mo og basic Java. Atong fundamentals in Java. Because OOP is quite complicated. So, that's how to create a class. For example, my IDE here is Eclipse. Eclipse akong gamit. And gonna write an example. Gonna launch this one. Okay, so we're gonna create new project. So let's click new, then Java project. For example, first Java, then click finish, and after that gonna create a package. It serve as a directory sa atong mga code. Di na to ipang save, so let's say OOP. Discouraged because it's capital letter. It must be small letter. Click finish, and after that click new, and then class. We have to create a class, so it must be a public. For Eclipse, you have to create we have to check this one kaning main, because of course naman sa main ipanglagan tanan nato mga code, so we have to check this one kay sama natong main class. I'm gonna create object. So pwede na ka mag capital letter dire. So click finish. Okay, so this one is our main class. Now we have to create a class and again. So in object oriented, we have to create another subclass para din na to ibutang ang mga classes na to, ang atong mga method. So right click again, and then new, and then class. Okay, and then here sa Eclipse, you don't need to click the main since we have main naman pod katong pinakauna natong i-open. No need to that because ang ato i-create is a subclass. Since we have to create a class, so ato yung pangalan is person. Since atong object na atong ganan is person, so person po ako ipangalan sa akong class. Then please do not check main, this one, the main string args, because we have already this, and this one is only a subclass. So let's click finish. Okay. So here sa atong OOP package, we have the object nga main class and the person Java nga subclass. Now we have to create an attribute sa atong class nga person. So say we have the first name, muna ang mga variable. First name, of course, first name is string man po lang. First name, kabalo naman po lang kayo mga ng string ng text, phrase, and so on. And sex is character, and integer is age. Muni atong blueprint, muni ang basihan sa atong program. Or how to call this one, kani atong ginabutang nga class. So we have the class instantiation, the process of creating an object using a class so that we can use it on our program. So we have to instantiate the class. Here, makita po ni siya how to instantiate. We have here the syntax, class name, and then yung identifier is equal to new class name. And open and close parenthesis, semicolon. This is the syntax, so please don't forget that one. And this one is the practical example. For example, person, kaning P, yung identifier is equal to new person. So let's go to the main. Dito mag-create, dito mag-instantiate, dito sa main class mag-instantiate. I'm gonna write person. So our person here is big yung P, so dapat same po siya dire. So person P is equals to new, then same person. No. It's wrong, it's person. This is how we instantiate a class. Okay. Next is how to access those attributes. So we have the class instantiation, and we're gonna write an attributes to call our attributes sa atong subclass. Muni ang iyang syntax, we have the identifier, the iyang attribute, then iyahong value. Okay. And how to read. Later on, gonna print that one. Okay. Balik to dito. And gonna write this one. Ayang identifier, yung attribute, then iyahong value. So, unsa man nato ang identifier? Of course, P man natong ibutang dere. So, P pa nato ibutang dere. So, man natong identifier. Now, atong ibutang is identifier and then iyahong attributes. Unsa man natong attribute sa PCAS? We have the first name, the last name, the sex, and the age. So, we're gonna put it there. So, first name is F and L are small letters. So, dapat small letter puta dere. So, we have first name. And then it's equals to what? The value. So, let's say John. And then P dot identifier. And then the attribute nga last name is equals to yung value. Let's say Santos. And then another identifier dot sex is equals to, it's either M or F since character naman siya. So, one letter only. And then, identifier niya again. And then, the age. Then, age is a number. So, let's say 25. Okay. Mo yun siya. So, how to write attributes is we have the identifier, the attribute from our subclasses, which is this one. And then, the value. So, kita na yung magbuton sa nga value atong ganang ibutang. So, we have John Santos M25. Next, how to read the attributes. So, here, we have sysout, print line, identifier, then dot attribute. For example, so it's system dot out dot, dot out dot print line identifier, which is auto identifier there is P. So you're gonna write P and then the attribute, let's say first name, that one, then semicolon. Okay, so this is how we write the attribute and kanisha how to read the attribute. So again, mo ni atoong class. Ang class name nato is person. And then, iyahong attributes is we have the first name, the last name, the sex, and the age. And then, so since mo niya atong blueprint, mo man niya atong basihan, we're gonna call and write this one sa main class nato. So, first thing to do is we have to instantiate the class. How to instantiate? So, don't forget the syntax for instantiating. For class name and the identifier and then the class name. So, we have here the class name, then which is same sa atong subclass. And then, kay kung if dili nato na ipareha, mangita na siya. Anong, siya, hey, di man mao, save na siya. So, so dapat same siya. So, after that, how to write the attribute. We have the identifier, the attribute is equals to the value. So, identifier na ito, ang gisat dere is P. So, since P dere, dapat P pa natin ibutan dere. Then, P dot first name, attribute, and then atong value, which is John. So, same with the last name. P dot last name, then atong value nga Santos. And then, P sex, since sex is a character, so we have to write one letter, which is M. And P dot age is a number, so it's an integer here. And then, gonna write the number. So, how to call this attribute? So, we have sysout that print line, and then identifier, and then the name of the attributes. So, gonna run this one. What might be the output? Of course, since we call the first name, then it's John. Gonna run one. Okay, and then this one. Look, it's John. What if mudugang kuglain na pod? What if mudugang kuglaing person? So, may tabo, if we have another person, we have to change the identifier. Kaysa man siya identifier sa first person. So, itong gonna try P1. And then this one, of course, since P1 man atong identifier ng second person, ang iyang identifier pod is also P1. Oh, sorry. It's P1. I'm gonna print this one again. Then I'm gonna write P1. So the output is John, and gonna change this one May. Okay. With F. So it's John and May. If ganahan ka silang tanan mo i-print, so i-concatenate lang nimo P dot last name, simple sa ilalim, plus i-concatenate lang natin sila. So P1 dot last name. Pero since pag i-run nato ni wala man ni space, we're gonna put na lang another concatenation, and then gonna put space plus na. So ang output ani is first name ni P, first person, og last name niya, and first name pod and last name sa second person. So run as so here John Santos and May Santos. It's because sa second ato magibutang nga Santos man si May. So that's it. It's easy, I guess. So this is how we create the class. This is the blueprint, and this is how to write and read the attributes, and how to instantiating the class, the subclass. So that's all for today, and this is your first activity. So please do it. Thank you and goodbye.